coronavirus deaths and infections continue to rise, there is a growing chorus of voices demanding that China be held liable for allowing this outbreak to get out of control. And the lawsuits are already rolling in. The Berman Law Group in Florida has filed a class action lawsuit against the People's Republic of China and several other Chinese government entities, alleging that they failed to contain the virus, failed to disclose vital information, and allowed it to spread globally, causing this costly global pandemic. The law group is backed by some big names like Frank Biden, Joe Biden's brother, and the suit names 5 plaintiffs, none of whom have the virus, but who say that they were adversely impacted by this outbreak. All right, joining us now from the Berman Law Group, the firm that filed this lawsuit, is Jeremy Alters. He is the senior litigation strategist at the Berman Law Group. Thank you so much for joining us, Jeremy.
Thank you for having me, Michelle.
All right, so Jeremy, help break down what the legal basis of your claim is here.
Sure. Under the Federal Sovereign Immunities Act, we are entitled to sue China for their breaking of their own law in China, breaking of our laws that egregiously affect humanity in our country, and for bioterrorism acts that they may have undertaken that affected our country and our people.
All right, we'll get into that bioterrorism claim in a minute, but I do firstly want to focus on the jurisdiction. Where would this case have jurisdiction? What is the legal strategy there?
Sure. We filed the case in Miami, in the Southern District of Miami, federal court, in front of Judge Ungaro. The judge will have jurisdiction over China because they are a party to the lawsuit, and we can serve them through the Hague Convention process. During that time, China will decide whether or not they want to accept responsibility and liability and decide whether or not they want to answer the complaint. If they decide to answer the complaint, they will hire their lawyers and we will have a full-blown litigation. If they don't decide to answer the complaint, which would mean they're trying to avoid responsibility, which wouldn't surprise me given everything that's going on, we will pursue the case without them there and move toward a judgment and then execute on their assets here in the United States.
All right, so then you would need the U.S. government to help you claim those assets and get the damage relief that you're going for, I would think.
Well, it's possible. We actually have done this before. There's precedent for this. And China, like other countries, other foreign nations, have plenty of assets here in the United States. They have buildings, they have bank accounts, they have different things that they own. If we have a judgment, just like a domesticated judgment against anyone, you can execute on those assets by seizing them if the court allows it. So it will be up to the court to determine what those assets are and how we can seize them. The government would be helpful, but not necessary to seize the assets.
All right, Jeremy, you put the word bioterrorism out there. Some of the other claims I understand you're alleging is that China intentionally suppressed this information, that China didn't do all it could to disclose vital information. You're certainly not the only person making those kind of claims, but where do you stand in terms of evidence to actually back these claims up?
We are confident that China knew of this COVID-19 virus as early as November, possibly before that. They did not tell the United States until late December, early January. And when they told the United States health professionals, they didn't give them the genome sequence of what was going on. So even when they told them about it, they did not tell them the severity of the spread, the severity of the virus. When they failed to do that, we didn't know that people were coming over here from China on planes, spreading this disease human to human. So if you go back through the wet markets, through the level 4 lab in Wuhan that works on these animals, the exotic animal trade in the wet markets, you go back as early as November, and certainly by December 10th, when their first diagnosis was public, there were people there that knew what was going on, knew the severity of the virus, knew that this could be a viral bomb on the entire world, literally, like it is now.
Jeremy,
and they did nothing about it.
I do want to focus on the term bioterrorism that you used. If you just want to qualify why you're using that term and what evidence you may have to back that up potentially.
Sure. When you are a foreign nation that's obligated to the UN, like China is, and you know of a ticking time bomb of a virus that could infect the entire population of the world, at least parts of the world, that is a terrorist act when you fail to disclose it to the people who need to know. That virus could have been contained. China did not contain it, and there are many articles about 95% of the population would have not undergone what it's undergoing now. And in my mind, and in the mind of the lawyers in our law firm, that can be a terrorist act. And that is bioterrorism because it's viral.
Jeremy, thank you so much. Good luck with that lawsuit. We appreciate you joining us, Jeremy Alters.
Thank you very much, Michelle.